Hey guys, Nicole Mackin here. I am up for Spotlight Sunday this week. My YouTube channel is Nicmackin, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, about my scrapbooking history, show you a little bit of some stuff that I've done, probably show you my room a little bit so you can kind of get to know me a little bit better. So again, my name's Nicole, and me and my family, I have a husband and two girls, a 6th grader and a 3rd grader. We live in the middle, like south central Nebraska. So we are definitely out in the boonies. We actually live in the country and absolutely love it. We just moved to this home about 1.5 years ago. Before we lived in a small town, and I love being in the country. It's definitely where I was supposed to be. Nebraska is mostly known for the Cornhuskers. I'm actually wearing a Nebraska shirt today because we play in our bowl game this evening. But that's mostly what Nebraska is known for, is the Huskers. We only have a college team. We don't have a professional NFL team, and so it's kind of like the one team that everyone roots for in the state. So that's kind of what we're known for. Other than that, we're known for corn. And that's about it, which is, pretty accurate. So, actually I wouldn't live anywhere else. I love it. I know, we don't have a lot of things to do, and I don't have a Starbucks a block away, or I don't have, I actually have to travel quite a ways even to scrapbook shop, but I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. It's, just a wonderful place to live. So I enjoy it a lot. So, and I've lived here all my life. So anyway, I have been scrapbooking my entire life, really. I got scrapbooks when I was a 2nd or 3rd grader. I remember getting those big scrapbooks that had like the rope tie, on the left side, and it was made out of construction paper on the inside, and you scotch taped everything in. And I've done that since I was young. I've always loved having all my memorabilia in a place where I can look at it all. I've always loved that. I've journaled all my life. It's just always been a big part of my life, this memory keeping thing. I've always loved old stuff. I've always loved, going through old pictures and all that. So it's just always really been ingrained in me since I was little. As far as the official, acid-free scrapbooking, I have been scrapbooking since high school, when I think probably around 15 or 16. My mom and I went to a bazaar or a craft show, and Creative Memories had a booth. And right away, her and I are both like, oh, we need to do this. And because my mom was actually really good about taking pictures. I have a lot of pictures of my childhood, and she was always very good about taking pictures. And so we bought a whole kit of stuff that day and have never looked back. So my mom and I actually both took up scrapbooking. Definitely different forms. She kind of just stayed in a more simple type of scrapbooking, not trendy, didn't care about all of that, whereas I kind of tend to lean more towards having more stuff and going with the trends and taking the classes and really being more of a lifestyle for me, whereas for her is more of a hobby. Now, my mom did pass away a couple years ago, and so I definitely cherish all those memories with her, scrapbooking with her, all the scrapbooks that she made, which I have. It was a big part of our life, and I am happy that it was, because now I have all these albums that she made, but I also have all these scrapbook pages full of memories of her. My dad had passed away a couple years before that, so I definitely cherish this hobby a lot, just because of what it's afforded me as far as recording their lives and my life, and because they were cut shorter than we all planned on. So anyway, so my mom and I scrapbooked. And I scrapbooked a little bit in high school. Then I kind of took a little bit of break in college. And then I kind of scrapbooked because there wasn't a lot of product out there. And I was too poor as a college student to buy the Creative Memory stuff. So I would just go to stores and find stuff. I use those magnetic albums, which I've now torn apart because all that stuff was getting yellow and gross. I would just buy stickers at the store, and construction paper. And I would whatever I could find, I would grab and scrapbook with it. And then I kind of was doing a little bit here or there. I had like maybe a couple of bins full of stuff. It wasn't anything major. But then when it was probably about, when was it? It would have been around the time I got married. So early, like 2000, 2001, my best friend's father passed away. And a mutual friend of ours had really gotten into the scrapbooking hobby. That was kind of around the time that all, Two Peas in a Bucket had started up, scrapbook.com had started up. It was still a fairly new industry, but they were just starting to put out more and more stuff. And so so we all three got together because we wanted to make a scrapbook for the funeral, for my best friend's father's funeral. And that was when I was reintroduced to all this new stuff, like cardstock versus construction paper, and all these tools like eyelets, and there's embellishments out there, and different types of stickers, and vellum. Like vellum was huge at this point in time, which I'm so glad it's coming back again. But so all this stuff, I opened my eyes, or my eyes were open to all this new stuff that was out there in the industry, and these magazines and all this. So from then on out, I just got full into it again, because I really enjoyed making that album. But then I was like, ooh, I need to start collecting some stuff for my own scrapbooking and get back into this. So from then on, it was like no turning back. It was buying everything I could, just slowly collected all the stuff, and I haven't looked back. So since then, like I said, I've been, collecting items. I've been taking a lot of classes. I've just kind of really indulged myself in the hobby, as far as, every magazine I'd get in the mail, and I would read it, and I would look so forward to it, and I'd get all the books, and I took classes, and my best friend and I went to CKU in Chicago, and I got to take some live classes with Allie Edwards and Margie Romney Anslet and Tim Holtz, and we did, even though we lived far away from each other, we would go travel to each other to scrapbook together. And I even went to Chicago once to scrapbook with her, and to hang out with her and stuff. And now we still get together about 3 or 4 times a year. We're about 7 hours apart, and we meet halfway. And so it's still very, like, her and I have really held on to this hobby, and it's really a central force to, like, really get us together on a regular basis, and besides our friendship. But this has just become, a hobby for both of us, that we both are big parts of our lives, and so we share that obsession, I'll call it, obsession. So it's just kind of grown and grown and grown, and continued to be a huge part of my life. And I've documented my girls and my family, and I started doing YouTube videos 2-3 years ago, and started doing hauls and some process videos. And now I'm kind of known for working with kits, and that's what I think most people would probably think of if they've seen my YouTube channel. I love to work within kits because I do have so much stuff, and I have a room full of gobs and gobs of goodies, and it's overwhelming when you're sitting down to do a page and you have all these choices. And so I put together kits and work with them a lot, and that has worked really well for me. And I have a series called Kit Love, which goes through putting it together and then what I've got, or what I made from that kit. I also love to scrap lift. I do still continue to take a lot of classes. I like to go to YouTube channels and scrap lift, and magazines, like the older magazines and online sites, and just really enjoy scrap lifting. And I recently did talk about that with Tiffany and Tracy on the Scrap Gals. I was lucky enough to be a guest of theirs a few weeks ago, their Scrap Gals podcast, so make sure you check that out. And so, think of what else. So now I'm scrapbooking. I have a room. I'm in it, obviously. And I just recently met up with my best friend, and we scrapbooked for 3.5 days. And I also have my business. I own a business, or I co-own it with 2 others. It's a coffee shop and it's a retail store, but it's like a craft store. not a craft store and like craft supplies, but I have vendors that contribute their handmade products to this store, and so I make stuff for this shop as well. Some cards, just anything I can make with scrapbook supplies, I've probably made it. I've decorated clipboards and made pre-made mini albums and all kinds of different things. So I also do use my scrapbook supply for business things as well. I've made a lot of stuff for decor for the shop. I've, you know, I definitely use up a lot of my product for a business purpose. I also scrapbook for people, not a lot because it gets a little hard for me, but just because it's so personal to me. But I do that for a little extra money and to help people out when they need a project or a gift. And right now I just have one main client that I scrapbook for, and so I do that as well. And so anyway, so my business I was talking about, I co-own this business, and I work about 4 days a week, and then I do a lot of paper, you know, book work and stuff from home outside of that. But other than that, I'm at home, and my husband travels a lot, so that our schedules just really work out really well for that. And I mostly scrapbook. I try to scrapbook on the days that my kids are at school that I happen to be home. That seems to be the best time. Evenings don't work real well for me anymore as I'm getting old and need my sleep. And I also, since I own a coffee shop, have to get up really early. So staying up late doesn't work for me like it used to. I used to be a late night scrapper, and now it's more of I just kind of catch it during the day. I usually like it when no one else is home and I can just really focus. And anyway, so I'm going to really quickly show you. I don't want this to get too crazy long. I'm going to show you like the first album that I made with Creative Memories. And in the spirit of Christmas, since we're, you know, one day after Christmas, or 2 days by the time that this airs, I'm going to show you the first Christmas layout that I made, and then I'm going to show you the most recent Christmas layout that I made. So this is, I'm going to show you this really quickly. This is the very first album I bought. It says Creative Memories. I think it's 12 by 16, which is odd because I always hear people talk about how they started off 12 by 12 with the Creative Memories, but I started off with 12 by 16. And here's just an example of my first Christmas page. Of course, we were talking shapes and sticker sneeze and just drawing with the calligraphy pens in a non-calligraphy kind of way. And so that is a Christmas layout, the very first Christmas page I made. This album I love it. Unfortunately, I started to take some stuff out of it because I wanted to re-scrapbook the photos. Sadly, I found all the negatives. I mean, happily I found the negatives, but sadly I found the negatives, was actually able to reprint all of them, but I had already torn them out and like cut them up in more square shapes and scrapbooked them in a mini album. So unfortunately this book is kind of torn apart, and that makes me sad. So if you ever think about doing that, don't. Maybe just try to scan the picture, but then put it back in, because I'm really sad that this album is no longer whole like it used to be. But this page was, and it makes me happy. So that's the first one I made. And then this is one of the most recent ones I made. I made this weekend with my friend Angie when we were together scrapbooking. So you can kind of, obviously, my style has changed over time. I like to layer. I like sparkly. I really love like the vintage feel to pages. But the layering thing is definitely something that I really like to do. I like clean pages too, where there's not a lot of layering. I really don't think I have a style. I like lots of different styles, but if I had to go to, like, if I were to sit down and just create a page, it would definitely be more like this. But I really like to try all kinds of different things, and sometimes I'll have a shabby chic page, sometimes I'll have a really clean and graphic page. It just depends on maybe who or what I'm scraplifting, or if I'm doing a class or whatever. So there's kind of a recent example of my scrapbooking. And oh, what else? I think if I forgot anything. I don't think so. I will show you my room really quickly. I'll turn you around here. And then I think that'll be it. So again, feel free to hop on over to my channel, Nicmackin, and check out my videos. And I talk a lot, so you'll get to know me more than through my videos and the layouts that I make. But I think I think I covered the basics of who I am and what and how my scrapbooking has evolved since I started, and I kind of talked about why I scrapbook. I guess probably similar to most people. Like I love the stuff. I love playing with the papers and the embellishments, but I also love documenting the memories. And because you forget so fast and so easy, you forget even the little things. And I love remembering those little things in life. And my husband and I lost all 4 of our parents in a 6-year time period, and just being able to like go back and remember things about them. And so that's really encouraged me even more to do this hobby and to be a memory keeper and to write this stuff down. And it's just funner to do it versus writing it in a journal. It's funner to do it this way. So I enjoy it for all aspects of it. I love all aspects of the photo taking, the playing with paper, the memory keeping. I just love it all. So with that said, I will quit blabbering and show you my room really quickly here. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, this is my space. I'm not going to go through too many details. I do have detailed videos on my YouTube page, but this is just, it opens up to our living room and our basement, like our family room, and it was actually created to be a kitchenette, and we don't need a kitchenette in our basement right now, and so I made it my scrapbooking room. So there is a little it kind of goes around to like this little nook back here, so it does continue. There's my table, and there's some more stuff back there, and then this whole, I'm actually in the process of kind of reorganizing all of this. So I just went ahead and bought, because these are all kind of falling apart, I just bought new white and gold ones, and I'm going to just replace all my pictures put into the new ones. I also bought some large photo boxes, like the ones that are like this size, but just are cardboard from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to just clean this area up a little bit, but that's all my pictures and memorabilia. There's some supplies over there, but that's mostly it. So this kind of gives you, there's a pile of stuff that I'm using to do all that. And this just goes out into our family room. So here's kind of where I sit, and I just have all my supplies surrounding me behind. So that is where I scrapbook, and it's just a really fun space, and I love that I can be with the rest of the family if they're watching a movie or football or whatever. It's just a nice place. So with that said, I will say goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. Such a great channel. So many great talented scrapbookers on here. I love watching all their videos, and I hope you do too. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.